Tim, you're familiar with the idea that we have constitutional carry across these amazing states, right? 27 of them. Indiana just adopted it, right? Georgia did, Ohio did, Alabama did, lots of states did, Florida did, right?
Yep.
It's a pretty good thing. And the left is still on that same road of it's going to cause more crimes and more gun violence, even though statistically and research-based, it's literally a patent lie that has been disproven consistently. Well, now Louisiana's up for order here now because they want to be the 28th state. It's really pretty much a race between South Carolina and Louisiana. Who's going to do it first? And my money's on Louisiana because they have less rhinos than South Carolina does, the land of the Lindsey Graham. But they did something else that I'm really excited about. I like this a whole lot. What would you say, Tim, if I told you that they also snuck in a companion bill in the constitutional carry going to the House in Louisiana that provided a liability and civil lawsuit shield to people who defended themselves in the use of a gun for self-defense? What would you say to that?
That would be awesome, and that's the way it should be, right? For those states
correct.
that don't have castle doctrine and stand your ground laws, you need something to protect lawful gun owners that might have to lawfully defend themselves. Correct. And so, that's absolutely critical. If you're going to have concealed carry in a state, which every state does have and should have, then, the gun owners should be protected from actually having to use their firearm in a justified self-defense situation. Correct. So being able to say, well, you know what, that may have been justified, but I'm going to prosecute you anyway because I have a political agenda and guns are bad. Yeah, that's not freedom, folks. That's not how any of this is supposed to work.
Not how it's supposed to work. But that's the beautiful part here, Tim, because the thing that I love about this is in this, basically they put a bill and they pushed it through with the momentum of constitutional carry of what they've been trying to get for 3 or 4 years in Louisiana. They got a new governor, and the new governor's like, yeah, you're going to get that if you get it to my desk, right? He openly said it's going to be signed, right? Governor Jeff Landry. But the thing here is other states need to pick this up and need to run with this the same way they picked up constitutional carry and ran with it under the Biden administration. The left, they have consistently shown that their new battlefield that they're opening up is lawfare. That is the move that they are doing. They are going to do it against manufacturers. They're going to do it against, what's the other one? Insurance companies. They're going to do it against civilians. They're going to do it against anybody who's defending yourself. And even if you don't go to jail, then you're going to basically go broke in defending this civil lawsuit that we're going to bring afterwards. And Everytown for Gun Safety is legitimately leading that charge of the story in Kentucky against the gun shop in Kentucky. Remember that story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This would cut that off at its legs. We need this everywhere. And I'm going to show you a few more things anyway, but this is genius and I love it. And it's kind of weird for me to sit here and tell you that the Republicans did something right on the offensive side.
Yeah.
But
rare.
that's what this is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. So this is something, let me just kind of bring you up to speed on the actual data to support what we're talking about. Louisiana lawmakers advance permitless concealed carry bill. That's number 10. By the way, it's not permitless concealed carry. It is constitutional carry. Framing matters. So here's the actual piece, number 12. Legislators also greenlighted a bill that would provide a level of immunity from civil liability for someone who uses a concealed firearm to shoot a person in self-defense. That is quite literally exactly what we need everywhere. But now, Tim, this is going to shock you. I can almost see the shock already, preemptive shock. The Democrats, what do you think they're doing as the typical one-liner against constitutional carry? What do you think their tact is here?
They want dead babies. The Republicans do.
Oh, no. Different vertical, different pillar of their platform.
But that's what they accuse us of. If they could just save one life, a baby's life.
That's true.
A baby
but that's not this one.
Oh, it's not this one.
Zoom out, more broad. So yeah, you're kind of on the right vibe. So here's number 14. Let me show you their tact here, and then we're going to nuke it from orbit. Number 14. Miguez and other Republicans argued that criminals ignore gun requirements and that law-abiding citizens should be allowed to carry concealed weapons without a permit to protect themselves. True fact. Let's keep going. Democrats say the measure could lead to more gun violence and jeopardize public safety.
How could I have missed that one? It's no different than when
I don't know.
When all 50 states were in the process of passing concealed carry laws with permits, right? And now we're moving past that, going to a constitutional carry that doesn't require paying a tax and getting permission from the king to exercise your constitutionally protected rights. But the argument then was, we're going to have running gun battles in the streets. Everybody's going to die. Things that would just normally be two men beating each other in the streets with chains is going to turn into a gunfight. And guess what didn't happen? Any of that. Crime across the nation came down, continues to trend down. But yet they're still out there screaming the same old thing. it's going to cause mass chaos. We're all going to die. You're just going to pull up to a stoplight and somebody's going to shoot you. Never plays out that way, does it?
I have a quick question for the show. This is details. I'm sure people are asking, why are the leftist gun controllers rednecks right now? Like, why are they?
I don't know, because maybe I used to have a bit of a draw like that when I grew up in a different state, and I can't really do the Boston accent or the New York accent, so maybe I can kind of do the nasally Chicago thing.
Maybe you could do that, or here's the secret to Boston. If you ever want to do Boston, all you got to do is state your point of there are gun controllers up there in Boston. Yeah, they pass the laws, and they get in their car. Anything like that.
Twain Street.
Whatever. There you go.
Yeah.
There you are. So now that was the first piece, but you are correct.
Down to Twain Street, get a hamburger.
Exactly. A hamburger. Whoa, that's Chicago. You can't have Chicago in
I'm mixing them all up, yeah.
Oh, God almighty. Let me focus here and wrap this piece because this is important, and then we're going to do something amazing. All right, here we go. This is in Louisiana. Remember this, Tim. Louisiana. This is what the Democrats said. Quote, "This is by far one of the most dangerous pieces of legislation that's about to pass out of this building." Huh. Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to say it, Tim. Louisiana, Deep South, 1960s, and prior. Nope, this is the worst. This is by far the worst. All of it. Yep. It's the most dangerous.
We're all going to die. We're all going to die. Yeah. And meanwhile, the 27 other states that have already done this, they're enjoying lower crime.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that odd? But this speaks to two things, and this is what I want to drive on. One, what do they always go back to? Democrats on the left, with gun control specifically and other things, but mostly gun control right now, what we're talking about, they always go back to fear. It's never based in reality. It's never based in statistics. It's never based in actual real world examples. It is all based in this could happen and this might happen and what if this happens and this is horrible. It's all fear. Mm-hmm. That's why when we covered 2 days ago, the episode around how the exhaustion is coming from the left, the liberals are exhausted because they're all crisised out. That's exactly their words. This is what they're doing to you. They are literally continuing to go back to the well of fear over and over and over again. That's it. And to Tim's point, two things I want to toot your horn a little bit for here, sir. One, constitutional carry. You are absolutely correct. It has spread. We are moving in the positive direction. And now we're moving into constitutional carry. Concealed carry, constitutional carry. If I didn't say that, whatever. You know what I meant. Yep. Dang it. Concealed carry, then into constitutional carry. We are making forward momentum state level, nationwide, across the board, forward momentum. The other thing here is we have momentum that is following us through, and now constitutional carry, check. Well, now they're going to get rid of the liability, the civic lawsuits. We're moving, man. We are moving in that direction. It's slow, but we're moving.
Yeah. Well, you're going to cost a bunch of people their lives. Allowing people to defend themselves is just, can't be doing that. It's just like security. It's dumb. I'm telling you, Braden, it's dumb. You're just putting people's lives at risk using security. You know how many people, oh my gosh, I have to go to the airport here in a few days. And I'm going to have to deal with those TSA security people. They're putting my life in jeopardy.
They are. I mean, especially when they put your hands over your head, when they put your hands over your head like this and they look at you and they go, oh, poor guy. Yeah. I'm with you. Man. Well, that's what's happening in Louisiana, Tim. But you know what time it is now?
It's time for the goofy gun.
Oh, yes. The goofy gun grabbers. Tim, take the wheel, sir.
All right. So number 16, Doc, we have Luke Beasley here. And I don't know who this is. I just came across this in my feed. Thank you, X, for serving this up to me this morning.
May I add some context?
Yes, please.
Gun control advocate, far left progressive. He's like Chris Mowry and the other one. He's one of those guys.
Sison? Harry Sison?
Sison, yeah. He's one of those guys.
Oh, so these are like
really loud mouth.
Little buddies. Oh, okay. Well,
that's him.
Because I interact with Chris and Sison so much, I guess now it makes sense that they throw this guy in my feed. Anyway, I don't
interact is a very generous word.
Well, I mean, I'm being political here. All right. So anyway,
there you go.
I don't want to hear any thoughts and prayers from the Republicans who wore AR-15 pens to Congress. Let's see, wearing a pen in support of a constitutionally protected right somehow makes it tasteless to offer thoughts and prayers for people that are victims of violence. Guns don't commit violence. People commit violence. And they're praying for the victims and their families, but if you support the Second Amendment, your prayers don't matter, or you shouldn't offer
isn't that
them.
weird?
Kind of strange. So if you throw up number 17, Doc, I had a friend that died in a car crash. Seriously. And I find this particular t-shirt to be highly offensive. So don't talk to me about car crashes and dealing with car violence if you've ever worn a car shirt. Okay. We just can't have that. It's truly tasteless. As a matter of fact, John Denver died in what, Braden? He died in a plane crash.
I think he died in one of those vehicles that flies.
Right. He died in a plane crash. And in number 18, Doc, we have an airplane t-shirt. Who in their right minds would wear this shirt knowing John Denver died in a plane crash? And don't offer thoughts and prayers for John Denver's family or him if you've ever worn a t-shirt supporting aircraft. Matter of fact, let's go to a more commonly used substance, number 19, Doc. Here we have a gentleman with freakishly small hands and arms wearing a Jack Daniels t-shirt. Now, I have also had a relative via marriage, but a relative that died from alcohol poisoning. But, as soon as that happened, I had to make sure I didn't have any t-shirts in my extensive t-shirt collection that might have any references to alcohol, like this guy with the really small hands. Because this is truly tasteless. And how could you have an opinion on drunk driving or people being alcoholics or people dying from drinking too much alcohol? How could you have an opinion? And certainly, how could you offer thoughts and prayers, Braden, if you own a t-shirt like this?
That's a good point. Of course, this is tongue in cheek.
It is
delivered fantastically well, by the way. The idea, we're not mocking the fact that people die from things. People die from things, and it sucks, and it's sad. It happens, and I'm not condoning it. However, for the left to take the position of, oh my God, you wore an AR-15 pen, so you just have no opinion on the topic. We're mocking the very infantile reaction to that's how you move forward, to your point. And that's why Tim brought these examples in. So your whole point here is anything that has caused issue in anything bad ever, not the majority of cases, by the way, only in select random occasions that are significantly a minority of the population of said item. You just can't talk anymore. So cars are off the table, airplanes off the table. To your point, alcohol's off the table, even if you have freakishly small arms and a big head. I mean,
yes. I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
Have you ever worn a NASCAR t-shirt? How insensitive is that to Dale Earnhart's family?
Oh,
you cannot offer thoughts and prayers to them if you have a NASCAR t-shirt.
That's actually very true. You can't even wear a Bud Light shirt anymore because that died.
Well, I'm not touching that one. All right.
Well, I mean, in every applicable way that sentence can be applied, I'm not either.
Yeah, let's just move past that. I think we made our point. And then lastly, you brought up Chris and how funny he made it in today's episode. Chris Mallory had this to say, number 20, Doc. Women have less rights, less help, and less respect in the United States than guns. Hope everyone is sick and tired of Republicans. Yes, Chrissy, women have fewer rights than an inanimate object that literally has no rights, nor would this inanimate object know what to do with a right if it were extended rights. What are you talking about, you lunatic? Guns have more rights than people. I'm pretty sure that's just a really stupid statement.
What it is it's a focus group tested talking point that the left has adopted, and it falls flat every time they use it. I don't know why little homeboy's picking it up. But for the record, guys, Chris Mallory is the kid who was in the car who was breathlessly screaming at the camera, if you're a Republican, you should be scared.
And every post, with Terry Sison,
that whole thing.
Wow, a Republican said something today. Oh my gosh, did you see this? Wow, holy cow. That's how they start every single tweet. And it's trying, and it reemphasizes everything that we've been talking about for the past week is the shock value and the extreme rush to urgency. And he's young. Chris Mallory is probably if he's broken 20, he might be 22. He's very young, right? So he doesn't even shave yet. Yeah.
No, these are not original thoughts. These are completely propagated from the left, from the Democrats. Everyone knows it. However, now let's talk about the idiocy of this statement. Women have less rights, less help, and less respect in the United States than guns. I'm pretty sure women don't have to see ID. I'm pretty sure women don't have to have background checks. I'm pretty sure women don't have areas they're not allowed to go. That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It is the stupidest point. And on a personal note, Tim, this is totally personal. I give more respect, and I'm sure a lot of our audience does as well. I give more respect to women than I do to men. And the reason why is because I'm raised Southern, and I genuinely will go out of my way to treat them nicely out of respect for them. Nothing else, out of pure respect. And for this little twerp to get out there and consistently drive this stupid narrative when they are the ones that consistently are trying to strip away any femininity. They are the ones that are trying to strip away any type of differentiation between the sexes. And this is their angle. Right. And you stand up and say, no, I respect my wife. No, my wife and I are a combined unit. Oh, you're just trying to subjugate her under the auspices of marriage. No, it's me and her versus y'all. It's it's insulting.
Let's go ahead and insert the word that he forgot to insert. Women have less rights because of the abortion decision out of the Supreme Court. That's what he's talking about. That's what this is. It is. This is what he's talking about. When they're talking about women's rights, they're not talking about Riley Gaines having to compete against biological males in a swimming competition.
She's verboten, man. She is verboten.
They don't want to talk about men dressed as women beating the brakes off actual women in MMA fights. They don't want to talk about any of that. Women's rights, they're suddenly concerned with, but only with regards to abortion. Everything else, all the weird rights go right out the window, right?
Isn't that? Yeah. But that's the thing, man. Dude, this episode, the way we're tying this together is so key, people. The first thing that we covered earlier on was all about the conflicting of the political narrative and the political pillars. This is another example of that. Women are the most abused thing on the planet by Republicans, except if you're for the abortion thing. But if not, then women don't exist. It is mind-boggling.
Here for the women's rights, we're going to pass a law that mandates men can go into women's shower rooms. That's how we protect women's rights.
Because we're all the same.
Yep.
Because
we respect women so much, we're going to let men beat them half to death in the ring at MMA fights. We're going to let biological males compete against them and take away their trophies in swimming competitions, like Riley Gaines. Yes, we love women on the left.
Because they're equal. Because they're equal. But
as long as they're killing their babies, then we love them.
Well, as long as they align to us. That's the old mantra of the left. I'm the most open and accepting person on the planet unless you disagree with me.
Right. Yeah.
So like I will forever say that. It's hilarious. I realized that when I was like 19 and I was like, wait a minute. All right. So here's something else that I'd like to bring up about your Goofy Gun Grabber selections. Excellent vintage, by the way. There's nothing going on right now in the news or any of the outrage that they want to gin up that has anything to do with women not having rights at all. There's not a single episode going on right now that the media is focused on. That's one. And the second thing, I don't want to hear thoughts and prayers from Republicans who wore AR-15s. AR-15s aren't in the news. Nothing happened with AR-15s. So the big thing that I want to bring attention to is they are genuinely going back into history and picking something for you to be outraged on and then tweeting about it. They are trying to bring forward chaos in order to motivate people through fear and anger. Does that sound anything like what the Missouri Democrats just did in the wake of the Kansas City shooting? We covered it. We're going to bring chaos. Does that sound familiar, Tim?
Yep, that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they do. If they don't have anything to talk about a news item today, they're just going to go back in time, a few days, few weeks, few months. They're just going to pick some outrageous thing that they think will get their base all riled up. And that's what they're going to tweet about today until something pops in the news that they can actually then talk about, but still recycle old talking points. So basically, they just got to keep the fear going in circles, right? And maybe tomorrow, if there's nothing else that pops in the news, they're going to talk about how the Republicans want to take away Social Security. I mean, that goes back to when I was a child. So yeah, it's just a constant recycling of fear. And that's how they get their votes. Vote for me or you're going to die and everybody's going to die and you're going to be broke and homeless and otherwise, don't vote for those evil Republicans that support capitalism. Vote for me because I'm going to give you everything for free, even though I don't. All right. So I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole comparing left to right politics. You get the point.
Too far.
Let's just go with the recycling of fear.
You were already pulling Bugs Bunny. Like you were going down off the cliff.
I know.
We were already
I realized
halfway down.
I was
It's okay,
headed down
though.
into. We're already 40 minutes into this, so let's just call it good for the day. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.